I think Borelli here just thinks people are going to be complaining no matter what, even in a strong economy. Huh?
I think the default around America and anywhere probably is that people are grumpy at work. But, I mean, anyone who's met a millennial in the workplace knows
here
that,
we go.
Just knows that this kind of self-important generation is sort of upset at the stage they are in whatever workplace they're at. I think that's probably the least surprising.
I mean, I know
you find a millennial
always,
who wants to grease up his boots and get some dirt under his fingernails, as Charles Payne always says. That's a guy you keep or a gal you keep.
Right. I mean, we have there's plenty of millennials on the staff, even on this show on the staff. And
Ralph,
with the exception of Ralph, most of them work very, very hard. So, pineapple. So, what do we think, John, of the age? Did you take anything away from that age breakdown there?
So, I mean, the age breakdown, people who are in their upper 60s tend to be happier with life in general,
right?
As surveys have shown. So probably they're kind of happier with the work. Look, there's always a bit of grumpiness in the workplace. That's probably what makes this such a vital and thriving economy, is that people aspire to something better and aspire to something more, which is really good. There's ambition in that economy. On the other hand, coming out of the crisis of 2008, 2009, jobs were scarce. You probably still have a lot of millennials feeling that they haven't been able to get traction the way that they thought in their careers. And a lot of the jobs, even though we have very low unemployment, many of those jobs are lower paying than they had in the past. Automation has taken its toll. So you're probably seeing a bit of that sentiment working through these numbers as well.
Yeah, all those things are true. And then you get younger people as well who, to all of John's points, they've had issues coming out of 2008. But I don't know, maybe it's cultural or it's because of those issues. They're also, it seems like, more open to moving around in their jobs, of course, than years ago, too. So maybe that leads to some of the, jumpiness where you say, well, I'm always looking for something else. What do you think?
I think it's both cultural and economic. Look, we're seeing the rise of the gig economy that has a little less stability, that is a little more stressful, but it also brings major opportunities, actually, especially for mothers and mothers who want to balance family and home life. We have a lot of women working now in the gig economy in a way that they wouldn't have had the opportunity to before because they were primarily taking care of their families. So I think I have to defend my generation a little bit here, right? I think it's good that people aspire to more. I mean, Steinbeck famously called us a nation of temporarily embarrassed millionaires. He meant it as an insult. The guy was a socialist, but I think that's fantastic about America, that everybody is sort of always striving for something better. And this is the economy, if you're doing that you want to be doing it in, right? You want to have those really, really low unemployment numbers where you have a lot of employers who actually are going to have to put something on the table to attract and keep employees. That's a good economy to be dissatisfied in if you're going to be dissatisfied.
That's a good point. You're always looking for people. Let's talk about Walmart for a moment. We mentioned Christmas, but what about Christmas in October? Walmart kicking off its holiday shopping deals online tomorrow. So, I mean, and we'd say, it seems like we've been doing, John, these stories for years. It's, oh boy, when are we going to, but does that tell us anything that they start this early now? Does it tell us anything about retail, or what do you say?
You're right. It always seems to start a little bit earlier every year, and maybe that's just kind of the nature of this particular ecosystem. This year, the calendar breaks in such a way that there are fewer shopping days before Christmas. And so you're seeing retailers compensate for that by starting a bit earlier. But also, look, the consumer, 2/3 of the U.S. economy is consumption-based. The U.S. consumer drives that. Those numbers have been kind of, up, but also slowing a bit over the last several months. And so the retailers may be anticipating what is basically still a healthy consumer, making sure that they stay healthy right through the selling season, so they're starting early.
Right. What do you think about retail?
Look, I mean, I'm against all of this early Christmas stuff. I mean, but you said it, right? We do this story every single year. It's bumping back further and further, and then there's always the grumbling about seeing Santa Claus up before Halloween, up before Thanksgiving, which deserves its own, attention. I feel like always gets overshadowed. Look, the consumer index has been dropping. The consumer confidence index has been dropping the last couple months from highs, I think, during the summer.
Yeah.
So whether or not that picks up, whether people kick off their Christmas shopping before Halloween, I don't know. I mean, I'm culturally against it. I don't believe that we should be buying Christmas presents before Halloween. Culturally, I dissent from this.
Everybody's wondering what Joe Borelli thought of all this, but instead I want to get this